Fang Fang's Tinder date or whatever. I don't know what happened between him and Fang Fang. I got no idea. Not really sure what he was up to with Fang Fang. I do know, however, that if this happened in a private company with industrial secrets, Eric Swawa would be on jobs.com or whatever right now looking for a new line of work. So Kevin McCarthy has pledged that he's going to remove Ilhan Omar, who has a history of anti-Semitic comments, and Eric Swalwell. And I say to that, good. Our job with people like McCarthy, who, let's be honest, can be squishy sometimes. Our job with people like McCarthy as conservatives is to keep them in line. Applaud them when they do conservative things to incentivize more. Don't attack them when they do conservative things. But when they get squishy, yeah, then we got to hit them back. But this is good news. And this is good news precisely because of what I opened the segment with. The fact that the Freedom Caucus has an unusual amount of power right now because of the slim margins the Republicans are going to have. You don't do what you said, the Freedom Caucus can shut it down. Now, I said to you that's an upside to having a slim majority. What's the downside outside of the math, which I described before? The downside is...
Like your 49th jersey, that's pretty cool.
For the exact same reason, if we have 222 Republicans, let's say that winds up being a number, let's say there's 20 diehard conservatives. 20 conservatives have a lot of power, but so do the 202 other swampies. Because if they don't go along, nothing's going to get passed by the Freedom Caucus side either. This is why I said in the beginning of the show, that fight I had with my cousin this weekend. It wasn't bad, I don't want to be dramatic, but, you know, she's a list. And she was telling me all these cutesy stories about, I'm doing the right thing. And I said to her, we'll call her Samantha. Samantha, I said, you don't understand. You know, when you have power and a voice and influence, you have to make moral compromises other people don't. And I'm telling you, anyone in this business or in the business of politics, telling you otherwise is absolutely lying to you. It's just not true. Black and white situations where people have to decide between bad and worse outcomes. I'm not putting down in your normal everyday life, you have to do that too. In your job, I'm just saying, people who are in politics and have the ability to change minds because they've been given a platform like this, there are choices you have to make every single day. And the Freedom Caucus is going to have to make some of those choices too. A lot more I want to get. Jim, queue up for me if you wouldn't mind, cut 5. Anyone changing their vote, by the way? Jim? Mike? Can we jump here? No? Mike? No? Standing by? You're not standing. Mike's not standing because it's unusual. Mike's always standing by. He's not even standing. That's how confident he is. You're like, what are you talking about? If you're a P1, you know what I'm talking about. We took a vote a long time ago. Who was the worst press secretary in the history of the United States? Green jump here, won in a landslide. It was like the Hall of Fame. She had 100 first place votes, 0 second place votes. So no one's changing their vote. Here is Karine Jean-Pierre asked about politicizing the Department of Justice, which of course we know happened. I'll produce the receipts for that in a minute. But she gives this hilarious answer that, if you needed a good laugh, on what's a rainy Monday in Florida, maybe nice someplace else. This was her answer. Check this out.
I will say this, and I've said this many times before, we do not politicize the Department of Justice. That is something that the President said during the campaign. That is something that the President said in his early days of being in the White House, and that continues to be true.
Did that come over low? No? Is Mike's button jammed again? It's got to be. Yeah, it is, right? I'm getting good at this. So in the studio, we have this button, and if you don't, like, wiggle the button, it gets jammed, because I'm like, I don't really hear this thing. But I hear myself on the red. That was Mike's button. Is that not the funniest, of all the things she said? I'm actually surprised in the press room. Even the libs were like, that's a lick. You and Jimmy Fallon should go out on tour together. Jimmy Fallon. By the way, did you go to the Patriot War? Did you hear Fallon's open? Did you tell me that wasn't funny? The cigar thing, he's hilarious, wasn't he? Him and DeVito, they had a warm-up act, Jimmy Fallon and I think Joe DeVito, and they were hilarious. It was like outside of honoring the Patriots. It was one of the best parts of the event. So she says there's no worries, we're not politicizing the DOJ. I got a few headlines here for you I'd like to read. So, Tablet Mag, Lee Smith, why did the FBI raid Mar-a-Lago? You forget about that? That wasn't political? There's a history of that, raiding former presidents' residences after they leave office. Oh, that's right, there isn't. Now, I got a headline for you at the Washington Post about the Mar-a-Lago raid that Karine Jean-Pierre tells you wasn't political. We don't do that here. The Washington Post waited till after the election, Evelyn Barrett, Deep State Evelyn, and they just published this article last week. Investigators see ego, not money, as Trump's motive on classified papers. Oh, really? Oh, that's interesting. So we were told, what we told Jim a few weeks ago and months ago before the election, Trump had nuclear secrets. He was selling them. He was selling them to the Ayatollah Khomeini. He's dead. It doesn't matter. He was selling them to him anyway. He was selling them to Kim Il-sung. He's dead. It doesn't matter. It makes a better story. We were told he had nuclear bombs in the basement. He had the bombs. He was like sum of all fears, folks. He found that bomb they find in that movie in the Israeli desert. Trump had it in the basement, and he put it in a vending machine. He was getting ready to plant it somewhere. We were told national security was at risk. All of these people before the election, during the raid. Don't worry, Karine Jean-Pierre says none of this is political.
Not
and
supposed to
look at that. Look at that. After the election, the Washington Post, investigators see ego, not money, as Trump's motive on classified papers. Wow, interesting. A review by agents and prosecutors found no discernible business interest in the Mar-a-Lago documents. People familiar with the matter said, this is hilarious. This is hilarious if it wasn't so tragic at the same time. How many suckers fell for this? He's got nuclear bombs. He's selling bombs. He's giving up spies in Russia right now. They're being hung from their toenails. He is. Did you have actual evidence of that? No, the Washington Post said sources told them. You mean the same sources who just told them that they didn't find any discernible business interests? It looked like an ego thing? I can't. If I say this again, you're going to think it's a self-praise moment. It's not. Did I not say to you in the beginning when this all went down that Trump likes to show people his accomplishments? Did I not say to you instantly, Jim, please correct me if I'm wrong. You can do it over the air and embarrass me if I'm lying. Did I not say in the beginning that Kim Jong-un letter where they wrote letters to each other, that it was probably the letter? And thank you, shaking his head yes. We have it on tape. You do have it on tape. We played it before. Me saying that this is what this was. Yeah, we were told like these letters back and forth, like, hey, whatever, thanks for negotiating over Vietnam. We were told that national security was at risk. He was selling nuclear secrets. The guy probably likes it. You don't have to agree with it. I'm not telling you it was probably the best idea. It probably wasn't. And there were covers and cover sheets to these things that make it look all serious, top secret. Because it was top secret then does not mean it's top secret now. Ladies and gentlemen, our motorcade routes in the Secret Service before the trip are top secret too. We don't want people to know where the president's going to travel so they don't set up an attack. I got news for you. After the president leaves town, the motorcade route isn't top secret anymore because everybody knows because he was already in town. I just wish the Limbs would listen to the show more so they'd stop humiliating and embarrassing themselves as we are now months ahead of the election cycle. Just a couple more headlines. KJP, Karine Jean-Pierre, says the Department of Justice is not political. Okay, sure. FBI raids home of another pro-lifer. Still no arrests in pregnancy center firebomb. That's from Texas Right to Life from October. That sounds legit. Remember this one? The Washington Post, Republican Congressman Scott Perry. FBI takes Scott Perry's phone as part of a fake elector investigation. You mean like fake electors when the Democrats challenge the election? Oh, not that one. Not that one. Here's another one broke this week. U.S. Department of Justice names war crimes expert as special counsel for Trump probe. We have one of those for Hunter Biden. When are we going to get? So what I did, folks, if you watch the Fox Nation, you can see this. I decided that because Karine Jean-Pierre said that the Department of Justice is not political, yet they seem to be focusing all the reference on Trump. I went to Google because it's the left's favorite search engine because they're communists. And this is an actual screenshot of my phone if you watch it on Fox Nation. I put in there, FBI arrests Hunter Biden. So here are the top 3 headlines. Hunter Biden could be charged with tax crime. Really? That's interesting because he wasn't. Headline number 2, MSNBC, they needed an explainer for that. Was Hunter Biden arrested? Not yet, and here's why. The Guardian, another leftist.